Marjorie Greene was out in front of this entire sham impeachment effort. And it was demonstrated in their loss yesterday to be a clownish waste of time. So she's not gonna take responsibility for that. She doesn't have the capability. Instead, she is going to try to describe it as a simple consequence of the fact that the Democrats are really devious and dishonest. And here's how she's gonna do that.
Their strategy, and they hid one of their members waiting to the last minute, watching to see our votes, trying to throw us off on the numbers that we had versus the numbers they had. So yeah, that was a strategy at play tonight.
So they lost out on their effort to impeach Secretary Mayorkas because they couldn't count well. And who would have guessed that Marjorie Greene would be brought low by an inability to do basic math? Pretty much everyone, probably, honestly. What she's referring to is this: Representative Al Green, he had just had a medical procedure, came in to vote and then went back to the hospital. And that's how devious these Democrats are. They had all of their members vote, even the one where it's inconvenient for the right that they voted. It's not like a crime. You thought he wouldn't show up, but he's still a representative. He can still vote. What exactly is the problem here? Like, now, granted, maybe they would have pulled it if they knew he would have been there, but they apparently had no idea that they were gonna have defections of their own. So it's just ridiculous. And the way that they're trying to spin a guy showing up for work when it's inconvenient is insane. This is just some rando weirdo, but he tweeted, Democrats win because they literally roll their members in from an operating room to the House floor just to save a cabinet official from impeachment. Wish we had that ruthlessness on our side. What are you talking about? First of all, just to save a cabinet official from impeachment? That's not a just. That would be like just to help name a post office. No, this is like a once in a century and a half effort to impeach a guy. It's kind of a big deal. Maybe you'll show up for it. And also, ruthlessness? Ruthlessness is when you hunt down all of the remaining Jedi, not when a guy shows up to stop you from doing something stupid. They really can spin almost anything to make it seem as if there's some massive conspiracy going on when they're just bad at math and they don't have the numbers to do what they want, Sharon. What do you think?
Yeah, ruthless is Mike Johnson on the floor being a close talker. I picture him with foul breath getting in the faces of those remaining members, trying to get them to please do what we've asked you to do, the wrong thing. Marjorie, what I do miss though is when she first got to Congress and started getting some attention from the press, we could look at the reporters in the background, John. And we could see they were kind of like, we'd see like their visible reactions, but now they're so trained to deal with her nonsense that we get nothing from them. And I was watching very closely. Maybe Donald Trump texted her and said, say this. They tricked you. Okay, the guy was gonna take Uber. He said, listen, they said, look, your health is most important. We got it, don't worry about us. Then I'm gonna Uber, we'll send a ride for you. That's all it was. One member, one vote, that's all it was. It's not a trick, okay? Yeah. A trick is something else. I can tell you some stories. A trick is something else back here in Georgia, okay? Okay, I don't wanna go there, but it's in a certain person's district and just leave it alone.
Okay, well, look, they're mad that he showed up. They should be more mad at themselves for why it was possible for a guy coming from the hospital to make them lose. Remember, they lost George Santos. They're really mad about that. You had like Matt Gaetz saying he's never missed him more, and Kevin McCarthy also was pushed out. Both of those are their problem. That wasn't like the dishonesty of the Democrats. That was the dishonesty and ridiculousness of the right. George Santos never should have been in office to need to step down. You did that to yourself, Republicans, by being okay with a guy like that. And for Kevin McCarthy, you guys thought that this crazy right winger wasn't crazy enough, so you booted him out of his leadership position so that you could have Mike Johnson. How's that working for you? And then the guy left. But again, that's on you. If you weren't so radical, if you weren't so insane, you would have had 2 extra votes and you would have successfully impeached Mayorkas. To no avail, it wouldn't actually remove him from the position. It would only make you look even more radical, but that's why you didn't get what you want. Don't be mad at Al Green for showing up despite the fact that he's in rough shape.